So from December all the way to my eviction time, I've been fighting him in court. So we went back and forth within the legal system to do it correctly. We gave him 30-day notices, we gave him 3-day notices, and we gave him 10-day notices. There was 9 violations on the notices based off of the lease. We went to court on March 23rd, Superior Court trial. Judge Lewis oversaw the trial. It was a 2-day trial. Within the 2-day trial, I did not testify at all. We only asked Timothy questions. The judge saw through what was going on. He saw pictures of what was going on. He went ahead and signed the judgment for the eviction. Eviction took place. There was only 3 individuals on the property. Timothy didn't answer the door when they came up there, and they finally said, if you don't go ahead, and we're going to knock it down. And he was escorted off of the property and left everything here. We signed the lease agreement on April 26, 2018, and starts moving in. He pays for the first month and prorated it. I went ahead, and part of his agreement was he was going to fix up my property, so I gave him a $3,000 credit to reduce his rent. Come May 1st, he doesn't pay me my rent. Within 10 days, basically, pays it late. I let it go. All the cars started to come onto the property. I was informed by and also that there was drug activity going on between about 1 and 4 in the morning. I witnessed it. There has been probably over 100 calls to the police department, to the sheriff's department. They knew the activity that was going on the business. They couldn't do anything because they said, we can't see any activity unless if we can actually see it right there. So nothing was done.
And this was the sheriff's department?
Yes.
Because the police department, which is not a police department, it's really the sheriff's department, they can't kind of bleed over into this, or no?
And I am 1 block out of city of Snohomish limits, so it's always the South Precinct, which is the sheriff department that's been here. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we would have an overlap when the cops were here from the city of Snohomish Police Department when they could not get out here. We had drug activity.
And drug activity. And have you found any drug paraphernalia?
I found some scales. Found a lot of lighters. They knew the eviction was coming, but the tenant told everybody that he won the eviction in court and he had the right to stay on the property.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so let's go back to where we were. We were.
Well, no, he paid May and then he paid June, and it was always late. He did not pay July. So in July we gave a 3-day notice to vacate, a 10-day notice, asking him to go ahead and pay the July rent. He went ahead and did that. That's when the property, at that time, I probably had 40 vehicles on the property coming in July. In July, I was driving by one night and I saw fire coming out of the backside of my property. I called 911. I knew he was renting to transients and letting them stay on my property. I was able to call the cops at that time because I thought it was a threat to my property. They did come out. They went ahead and they found 6 people living on the property.
Wow.
There was a RV back there and ran records off of everybody. Nobody had any outstanding warrants. They went ahead and escorted them off of the property. My first letter I received from Snohomish County Planning and Development was in September. When all this was going on, I contacted the fire marshal. I contacted Planning and Development and asking for what I could do to try to get my person off of the property. I had the fire marshal come out here. Fire marshal tagged the property that there was an illegal business here, Euro Sports, Auto Sports. He said that somebody was living here illegally, and there was people living in RVs. And under the county's jurisdiction, that is not allowed. So then the fire marshal went ahead and went to Snohomish County Planning and Development, and Stephanie Lyons sent me a letter stating that I had to go ahead and get these people off of my property because of their illegal activity. Planning and Development
And this was in September?
Yeah. Planning and Development have been working on with me. She's now giving me extension. My last extension was for April 9th. They know I've gotten him out of here, so now Planning and Development gave me a 90-day extension to clean the property up. If not, I was going to be fined $50,000 from them.
No kidding.
So anyway, so that was so we did the notice to vacate again in July. We went ahead and paid it. Came August, he paid on time. People were making deposits into my account that were not him, and we don't know where they were coming from. We think it was a family member, his mother, that was making payments for the rents. We're not sure on that. So they knew what they were doing.
Right.
They knew what they were doing. So we had then go through July, and then August he paid, and September he paid. And then again, October is when he didn't pay. We go ahead and do another
10-day
notice of eviction. He went ahead in November, was not paying the utility bill, and under Snohomish County the utility bill is under HIPAA law, it belongs to the tenant, it doesn't belong to me. So I was trying to figure out what happened with electricity. In November we found out told me that there was no electricity coming onto my property. So I called Snohomish County and said, hey, what's going on? And they said, well, we can't tell you any information. Then about 2 weeks later, at the end of November, all of a sudden I have lights on the property. So I go ahead and I call Snohomish County. I said, why is there lights on my property? And she goes, well, we're not showing anybody turned on the electricity. I said, well, then you need to go out to the property and investigate it. They come out to the property and they investigate that what he has done is he's damaged my electrical box there. He went ahead and took a generator and hooked it into my electrical so he could go ahead and get lights, which was a fire hazard. We found out also the water was not working. He had water off for 4 months, so they were taking buckets. I have buckets around here of feces. Of them going ahead and pooping in there, not using the bathrooms. There's 2 bathrooms here. He went ahead and he damaged, he went into one of my bathrooms and took out my shower enclosure for no reason whatsoever. He went ahead and he's cut into my fencing. He's done, damage to the actual physical buildings when he was here. Talked with my attorney, and he said this is getting a little bit out of hand, that I need to go ahead and hire really a professional. So I hired Ron Trickler Everett, who does the eviction for 90% of Snohomish County people. He goes ahead and we serve him the notices in December of all the violations. We did serve the paperwork. It now becomes a civil matter, and the police cannot come on the property. They cannot do anything to show of the drug activity. They can't do anything because I'm in an eviction process, and they say it's a civil matter. So that's why they could never do anything for Tim. And the police told me their hands were tied all the time. They can't do anything to the property. So from December all the way to my eviction time, I've been fighting him in court. So we went back and forth within the legal system to do it correctly. We gave him 30-day notices, we gave him 3-day notices, and we gave him 10-day notices. There was 9 violations on the notices based off of the lease. We went to court on March 23rd, Superior Court trial. Judge Lewis oversaw the trial. It was a 2-day trial. Within the 2-day trial, I did not testify at all. We only asked Timothy questions. The judge saw through what was going on. He saw pictures of what was going on. He went ahead and signed the judgment for the eviction. Eviction took place. There was only 3 individuals on the property. Timothy didn't answer the door when they came up there, and they finally said,
Yeah.
if you don't go ahead, and we're going to knock it down. And he was escorted off of the property and left everything here.